and welcome to Concert Pipeline. I'm Steve Jones. Today on the program we have the Happy Fits. This is the second band that we're featuring that is playing BottleRock here at the end of May 27th to 29th. And this is a great one. I'm really excited about this band and what they're going to bring to BottleRock. I'll get into that in just a few minutes. Before I do, I want to share a little bit about what's going on in my world. I've talked in recent weeks about my move to Vacaville, how I'm leaving Napa, unfortunately. Fortunately, positive thing, right? I bought my first house, which is exciting, but leaving the place that I call home for the past 8 years. I mean, I've never lived anywhere longer than 2 years, and this is quite a venture from that, right? So starting over about 45 minutes away from where I currently live, which it's not the other side of the world, it's not out of state, it's not even to Sacramento, but it's going to be kind of in between anywhere, right? It's closer to a lot of places that I go duck hunting, which is pretty cool because that means I don't have to wake up as early and deal with as long of a drive. It's a lot of that's a lot more manageable when we get to duck hunting season later in the year, but it's going to be a big change. The move is coming along really well. About 80% of the way into the house. I mean, we're fully in the house. The kids and I stayed there over the weekend, and we did a lot of fun things. I mean, I got them on their bikes. They were riding bikes a lot this weekend. My daughter has this great bike that costs twice as much as my bike that I used for a couple of triathlons and the Century ride that I just finished. Her bike is super sweet, but she hasn't used it a lot. But this past weekend she did. My kids actually rode their bikes to their prospective new schools. My daughter's being about a mile away even, and I jogged with my dog behind them to keep up with them and get him out. I'll tell you, I was a little nervous about jogging with the dog because he just turned 10. He's old. He's a Husky Shepherd, and he's had a couple of medical issues recently. So I wasn't too sure about how that would turn out. He did fine. He did all right for the 2-mile round trip run, but I was keeping an eye on him and not going too fast. I'll say that. And so we spent a couple nights. My son and I both slept on separate air mattresses since my bed is not there, and his bed is there, but his mattress is not. So we slept on air mattresses, and that worked out fine. Got to stay in the new house and got to pull it together a little bit. My TV isn't there because it's still here at the Napa house. So my buddy Joe lent me his TV that I had actually given him before. So I'm good at sharing. We're good sharers, Joe and I. So we got to have that. Hooked it up to Apple TV and was able to chill throughout the weekend. And so that's really fun. The moving truck, my second moving truck, is coming on Friday. I'm going to pick it up and bring it over and start loading what I can into it. And then my kids' mom and stepdad are going to help me finish packing everything else into the truck on Saturday. This is an everything must go situation. I think even the junk that needs to go to the dump is going to go, and we'll drop it at the dump outside of the move. And yeah, should be all right. So that's kind of the status of the move, but I'm pretty excited about my kids biking, and my daughter also, whose school, as I said, is a mile away. She's going to have to be biking to school a lot, and we did it. And even with me jogging behind and everything, it was 10 minutes on the long side to her new school. So there's a couple of streets that she has to cross that we have to work up to. She wanted to go on her own to the school, but I'm not fully there yet to let her there, and she respected that, which is good. But I did let her go to my son's school on her own, which is a little bit closer. So actually a lot of it closer, like 4 times as close. So that's about what we did over the weekend. The move finishing up, I'll update in the next episode with where we're at with that. But again, on to the Happy Fits and BottleRock. So let's talk about BottleRock as a whole again. we shared this last week, but I'll go back through it one more time. We're going to share the BottleRock lineup. Here it is. Friday, May 27th, headlined by Metallica and Kygo. I will be at Metallica if you're looking for me. It has been a couple of years since I've seen them. I think the last time I saw Metallica live was at the Bridge School benefit concert at Shoreline Amphitheater, where they did this kick-ass acoustic set, and even played songs that were definitely not made to be acoustic, and rocked them out acoustic. It was pretty cool. They had to start one over, which for a band like Metallica is, you don't see that often, right? So they are playing on Friday. Who else is playing Friday? Fantastic Negrito, gonna be cool. Atlas Genius are good times as well. Madam Gandhi, who was on the program a week or two ago. A couple of the artists that are playing Friday. Saturday, 21 Pilots and the Black Crowes. I think I'm going to have to divide the performances and see a little bit of Black Crowes and then finish off the night with 21 Pilots. That's my plan. But I'll also be seeing Silver Sun Pickups. Might check out the Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube joint, Mount Westmore. If I have time to get over there then. And who else? Moon Alice has been on the program a couple of times in years past. And then Sunday, Pink. That's where I will be on Sunday with a couple of friends who are coming to town, but also checking out Bleachers and Michael Franti and Spearhead and a couple of the other artists that are playing. So reminds me I need to check in on Elijah and the Delusionals. They've been on the program, but we might interview them again. Lots of great content coming around BottleRock. BottleRock did announce this week the culinary stage lineup, which is actually somewhat similar to their headliner lineup, which Pink, 21 Pilots, Luke Combs. They have a lot of their headliners that are doing the culinary stage, which is pretty cool, I guess. It's going to be pretty hopping. I'll tell you the one name that stands out there on the culinary stage, Tiffany Thiessen. I didn't know she was a chef. I went to her website and saw that she does some cooking. And for those that aren't familiar with Tiffany Thiessen, formerly Tiffany Amber Thiessen, she was Kelly Kapowski on Back to the Future. What? No, I just totally flubbed that on it's not Back to the Future. It's Zach Morris and oh my gosh, the fact that I have to look this up. Saved by the Bell. I didn't look it up. I did not look it up. Saved by the Bell. I got confused because Mark Paul Gosselaar's podcast is Zach to the Future, in which they did a retrospective of a number of episodes, going through the episode and talking about it. And he doesn't remember all of recording that show, which is pretty interesting. So this is the culinary stage lineup where they partner a lot of musicians or athletes or celebrities with top chefs that are out there. So it's this cool stage in the middle of the BottleRock Festival. That's that I always check out and see what's cooking, so to speak, right? That's the exciting stuff around BottleRock. So that's, looking forward to that. Again, Happy Fits are on the program today. I had a chance to talk to all three members of the Happy Fits, which is Luke Davis, Ross Monteith, and Calvin Langman. They were on the final date of their current tour up in Quebec, I believe. Yes, when I chatted with them. And we had a really great conversation. And not to spoil the interview, but I did tell them that, that I'm really looking forward to their performance. They're one of the bands that, that I was able to discover through BottleRock and really jive with. I mean, taking a rock band and putting a cello at the front of the rock band, which is something I don't know if I've seen before necessarily in that format, and especially for 20 somethings to be doing that. It's going to be a good performance. So I'm looking forward to checking out their set. So without further ado, let's bring in the Happy Fits.
Hi.
Hey,
So sorry we were running late. We're loading into our venue. So sorry about that.
Hey, no worries. Where are you guys right now?
Montreal. It's the last show for day 78.
Yeah.
Yes, you had quite the tour, right? Like, tell me, how's the tour been going?
It's been incredible.
Yeah.
The first month we were headlining and we were touring with a band that we're now back on the road with, Sarah and the Sundays. And that was insane. Really, really fun shows. And then we ended up actually doing direct support for the Maine. And so that was for like a month and a half. And then now we're back on the road with Sarah and the Sundays, wrapping up with them, and we're headlining again. And it's been really, really great.
I like it. Tell me about touring with the Maine. How is that tour? What specifically?
I mean, that was awesome. We definitely learned a lot from them, and just like seeing how they operate with like their crew and everything, and just like how professional it is on like that next kind of jump to this. Like we were playing like when we headlined, we would play like 300 to 500 cap rooms. They were playing like 1,500 cap rooms every night, and it was just like playing the larger crowds than we've ever played on a tour before. And yeah, it was just really inspiring to see how hard they've worked, because they've been a band for like 15 years. They make all their own like production, like their stage stuff, like they hand craft and everything, and it's like, I don't know, it's just really cool. They treated us very well, and
yeah, they're all
the
super
shows
nice.
were awesome. Their fans are great, and yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure.
So touring with a band that's been around for that long, like, are there some things from their touring style or their routines that you guys are taking into your headline shows? You're like, okay, we're going to kind of steal that a little bit.
Definitely
Yeah.
for our next tour, like just taking in a lot of what they do, because they have a full crew as well. So they had a packed bus of 12 people total, including the band. So like bringing a lighting guy, they have like, you know, their guitar tech, drum tech, all this stuff. So it's basically like we just saw what it's like, I guess, to be like what the next level is like, playing those like House of Blue rooms and everything. And so definitely a lot of that we took to heart, like talking to them and like all of their like ideas and how they go about their career. And so we really like took that in, and yeah, we're definitely moving forward with some of those like ideas for sure.
I like it. So I want to go back to the start at the beginning a little bit. Calvin, I know you started with classical piano around the age of 6, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then I moved to cello at age 8. Yes.
Yeah.
And,
so what was that, your choice, or did your parents influence the cello?
yeah, it was my choice. My brother and my sister, my sister played piano, and then my brother played violin and piano. So I chose cello so that we could play like chamber music together. So that was like my first like experience playing like collaborative music. And as I got older, I found myself listening to rock music more and more, and then eventually writing it. And it was our senior year of high school. We finally got together, and I started showing Ross all these things that I wrote, and he started showing me things he wrote. And the summer before going off to college is when we recorded our first EP, Awfully Appealing. And that's kind of what took off the first week of college when we were off at separate universities. And I just remember it blowing up on Spotify and calling Ross and being like, hey, should we like leave school maybe? And yeah, we dropped out.
Yeah. And you were worried about, being judged for liking rock at first, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was like frowned upon by some like really pretentious people, and like it was weird growing up in that environment. And now that I'm free from that, I see how ridiculous it was.
Yeah. And when you dropped out, tell me about that conversation telling your parents, because I know that was a crunchy time for you.
Yeah, I think I flew back for a show that we did in Columbus, Scully's.
Yeah.
And it was April, so it was like basically the school year was almost done. I think I just had like finals left in May. And I remember I flew back just for the weekend, had dinner at my parents' house, and like I told them, I was like, I'm gonna drop out of school. My dad like completely laughed in my face, and like I just like was like, all right, well, I guess I gotta prove him wrong now. So yeah, I definitely used that to fuel fuel this dream that's been going for 6 years now.
Yeah. And Ross, you dropped out as well, is that right? At this kind of the same time?
Yeah, so all three of us ended up dropping out. He was just a year ahead of us. So he had been at college for a year and a half. I had only spent one semester at college at University of Delaware. And yeah, it was funny because it was the complete opposite situation that Calvin had to deal with. My parents were like the ones that kind of told me to drop out and just like go for it. And like if I was willing to do it, then they're like, yeah, like, you know, it saves us money if you're not gonna be at college right now. They're like, college is always there. Like if you need to go back, you know, you can. But like you're young, you're getting like this like little spark from Spotify, like just like go for it. So as soon as my dad said that, I flunked all my classes until the end of the semester, and then I dropped out. um, yeah, so it was much easier for me to make that decision to just to leave and go for it. You know.
Yeah, I guess I got their support. So
Yeah.
yeah. And were your parents musical at all?
My parents weren't. No, I mean they grew me up on a lot of great music. They never like played any instruments. My dad tried guitar for a little while in his life, but never stuck to it. But yeah, he grew me up on a lot of so like my favorite bands to this day. Very like new wave '90s kind of British scene music is like what I grew up on when I was younger. And yeah, I always liked my dad's taste in music, and my mom's as well, but she's a little more pop and you know. But we both share like my mom for some reason like her favorite band of all time now is Glass Animals, and I love them too, so I'm just like, all right, mom.
I love how you preface it for some reason.
I know, it's just like usually
I guess if you met his mother, you just wouldn't expect her to love Glass Animals.
No.
Yeah. Did she see them at a show with you guys or something? Or
Yeah, actually that was a really special moment because we played a music festival called Firefly in Delaware, and I had been going there in high school with my friends, so it was really special first off to actually get the chance to play the festival that I'd been going to for years. And then Glass Animals were right before the headliner, and my mom came to us to the festival, and they gave us access to go like up on the rafters of the stage, which was like an artist only section. So we got to watch them from on top of the stage, and yeah, it was pretty amazing.
That's pretty cool. And in terms of your musical taste and kind of upbringing, you know, I did see a couple of videos of you playing guitar, Dave Matthews, Chris Isaac. When you were younger, you're like, those weren't supposed to be seen.
That's amazing that you found those. Yeah, I used to make videos of like little covers and stuff for my family back in Scotland because my entire family lives over there. So they always wanted to like see my progress because my mom always like talked about how I was starting to sing and play and like write music with him. So I would make like these little cover videos. But yeah, I loved Dave Matthews Band growing up. I don't really listen to much of them anymore, but there was a phase where I was like, I was very into them. And then the other guy is Ben Howard. He influenced a lot of my kind of acoustic style guitar playing. And I guess vocally as well. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was a big fan of him as well.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Dave Matthews fan, but I have a friend who's really, I mean, it's the only band she likes. And so we're going to go see him later this year, I think. So
nice. It's very, I mean, they're very talented and they're great musicians. He's just a very goofy man. And it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a long time for that type of music. I don't know, 3 hour. He does 3 hour. He's one of those that does like 3 hour shows, and you have to really be into it, and you know, high or whatever. You know,
you need a seat if you're gonna go see him because it's like, yeah, I saw him at in New Jersey, and he played for 3 hours, and luckily we had seats, so we weren't standing the whole time.
That's a good point too. Yeah, exactly. And Luke, for you, it was drums at 12, so late to the game, huh?
Yeah, I definitely, I drew a lot before then, and then I was like, I'm gonna draw for my rest of my life, and then I ended up playing like rock band, and I really loved playing drums on that. And so from there, I auditioned for percussion, and I didn't know how to read, and then they're like, do you know how to play drums? And I was like, I think so. And I played Yeah Yeah Yeahs, or Maps by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. And they're like, how did you know how to play that? I was like, well, I could play it on Expert on Rock Band. So it kind of translated over. And then from there, yeah, I just trained or like I studied classical percussion up until senior year of high school. And then I went to college for music emphasis, which is like a business and performance degree. And then on my third semester, the guys asked me if I could play on the EP, and I did, and here we are, 6 years later.
Yeah. And in high school, I know you did all the high school classes and the learning and everything. Were you in any high school bands as well?
Yeah,
Baby.
I had my like
Woo,
own
baby.
band for a tiny bit. We didn't release anything, but we did battle of the bands. We were called Moon Baby. I did not come up with the name, but yeah, it was fun. We just did like I think 2 originals, and we did like Arctic Monkeys cover, and yeah, we did some other stuff. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah, and you joined Happy Fits as like session work, right? Like at first you weren't fully in the band.
Yeah, at first it was just session work, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then Ross hit me up on like us getting on Fresh Finds. And then from there, kind of like was like, all right, hopefully we get along. And yeah, it worked out really well.
Yeah. So let's start with Awfully Appealing. Tell me about that EP, how you guys came about that, and the dynamic as you went into the studio to make it.
Oh, we honestly just wanted to make something to show like our friends and family before going off to college. Like, I don't know if you've seen the original EP cover or anything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I made it on MS Paint, and it looks
Yes.
ridiculous. But yeah, we really, this was like a pipe dream. We didn't know how to make it happen, or if we were good at it. So we had these 4 songs. I think we had maybe like 7 songs or 8 songs in total, and
we
then
could only afford to record 40.
Yeah,
we didn't have any money.
so yeah, we found this guy Matt Moralikas, who used to be in this band Born Cages, and now he's like engineer on like Jacob Collier's stuff and the Lindas in LA.
He's doing awesome
So yeah, now he's doing really good for himself. But yeah, at the time it was kind of great because he gave us this like really big discount,
really generous discount
at his really nice studio in Jersey. It used it's not around anymore. It's called The Den. And yeah, we had 3 days, I think it was. Yeah, 3 days to do 4 songs. And
2.5 days, I think.
Yeah. And he did such a good job of like, he was just engineering us really. Like he was like, I'm just gonna let these guys do whatever they want, and I'm gonna push record and set up the microphones correctly. And yeah, we're really thankful that he did that, because people seem to really resonate with how raw and violent femzy the EP is.
Yeah. And so it was pretty natural for you guys. The dynamic between you 3.
Yeah.
Like Luke came over to Ross's house like once, I think, right?
For I practiced for like an hour and a half with Ross, and then I went in there, the studio. I met Calvin. I think I was there for like 2.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I just recorded the 2 songs, and that was it. I was like, all right, bye guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, I remember you were sweating bullets because you just kept running takes, and like I didn't know that it took that many takes to get something until it was like my turn to start playing cello. But like, yeah, like Too Late is not a slow song at all.
Yeah, that was I just remember trying to figure out like the hardest part for Too Late was just how many datas am I doing?
Yeah.
And where are they in the song?
And it was the middle of summer, and they had to turn off the AC every time we wanted to do a take.
Yeah, so I was just good time.
What a mess. So Calvin, tell me about this dynamic, as you obviously your musical tastes are changed into rock, and you kind of were able to identify that. But where did the idea for having a cello, along with lead vocals, kind of come in? Because that's really unique.
Yeah, I mean, I found these 2 guys, 2 cellos, in like 2008. They released Welcome to the Jungle cover on YouTube, and like it was so awesome, and I was like, whoa, these guys are like really like shredding into the cello. And like I was never very good at playing very subtly. I was either just like aggressively loud and fast, or just like too quiet and you couldn't even hear what I was playing. So I preferred playing fast and loud. And when I saw this, I was like, this is awesome. Let me see if I could play it. So like I would try and like just watch their videos and see if I could learn their parts. And I found out it's actually pretty simple compared to a lot of classical stuff because the cello is already tuned in power chords. So from there, like I basically just had to play the root notes and then play the string above. And I never learned how to play bass or anything. But when Ross and I started getting together, we started with folk covers like Andrew Bird and Milton Carton Kids, and that was like a good way to ease the cello in. And then eventually, it's like I think it was like too late. I just was like trying to play like this rock line inspired by Alabama Shakes, and eventually I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna like get heavier and heavier until he tells me to stop.
Yeah. And have you done a festival yet where you staged dove with the cello? Have you gotten that point?
Oh, where I've done what? Oh, stage dove, not with the cello on me.
But he has taken his
One day I will figure out how. I definitely, a goal of mine is to be the first person to play cello while on fire.
Yeah, I'm sure you can make that happen for sure.
Yeah, I need to get in contact with Rammstein first.
So tell me about Concentrate. What did you take away from your first EP that you were able to bring into the full length?
So during Concentrate, that was like a big step for us because it was going to be our first album. And so trying to find someone to record that album was like, okay, how do we even approach this? We have all these songs. And so we actually, through a PR company, they were like, hey, have you recorded your album yet? We were like, no. I go, great. Right across the hall is this guy, Ayad Alatami. And he owns this studio called Diamond City.
And he used to be in Passion Pit.
And he was the synth player in Passion Pit.
And we were like, whoa.
So we were really quite starstruck. And we're like, let's do this. And we ended up recording for a month. And then there was like another month and a half of editing and, doing one take here or there just to make sure the album was good. But through that process of being with Ayad, we got really close with him, and he actually ended up becoming our manager. So he's our manager to this day as well. And he has also recorded our other two out, like he's recorded What Could Be Better, and then also our album coming out this year. And so, yeah, that was a big moment for us, was meeting him and making that connection, because it's opened up so many more opportunities.
Yeah, it like he said, it was the first time we worked with like a real producer, where we brought in we had like 15 demos or 15 songs that we recorded live in the studio just to show him what the music was, and then he kind of took each song apart and then helped us like rearrange parts and change parts, and then eventually kind of figured out the songs that would make sense together in a record. And yeah, it was a completely different experience than the EP, but it was also a great experience to help us with like our songwriting and our structure for the future, so that we kind of like had a sound, because like the EP was just like us going in there and playing whatever we could. I didn't even own any guitar pedals, so it was like moving forward to Concentrate, like we got to pick out tones, like guitar tones or like cello sounds, and like make it kind of more cohesive. And yeah, it was very cool. And that's the way we've done it with every record that we do. It's like we work with Ed as our producer, and he also has big influence on how the record turns out and like how the songs are structured. So.
And how close did you see the final result to what you go in with? Like, I mean, is it changed completely?
Yeah, it's on the songs for sure. But like something like Sorry Cool Whatever, which is currently like our most listened to song, that was like a 6-minute long song. It like literally was cut in half. And the chorus was at the end of the song in the demo. At the end of it was like 5 minutes into the song. So that was like a big butting of heads, because we didn't really work with anyone in a collaborative way like that besides ourselves, where we were like, you're really, this is like drastically changing the song. We don't know how we feel about this. And then it ended up being the biggest song on the album. So
Yeah.
it was like, okay, have a little faith in an outside opinion on the music.
But
And to an extent.
So
sure,
sometimes the songs say exactly the same. The last time that happened was our song "Hold Me Down" off of "What Could Be Better." Like he just like sent us the demo of that song, and if you play it side by side, obviously it's not like mixed and mastered, or it's not like mastered and stuff and mixed like professionally, but the structure is exactly the same. Pretty much.
I think She Wants Me was like that, and Moving too.
yeah.
I think just after Concentrate, like I learned a lot about like just songwriting from AAD and arranging. So I was able to just kind of, take that into the second album and third album.
It was a lot less painful of a process in many ways than the first album.
Yeah, I think the first album we definitely went into it just like, well, at least I did, just like, it's my art, like it's the way I say it is the way it's supposed to be, and like, without really taking into consideration that it could be a collaborative process.
Also, I think the mentality of going from the EP where Matt was just like, do your own thing, like whatever you want to do.
I think there's like
Ayad and him are polar opposites in the way of how they work.
Definitely.
And you talk about the art. I mean, I want to talk to you guys about your videos, because I mean that's such a big part of who you are. I mean, it feels kind of okay go-ish to it in a sense, right? Like, I mean, just like,
thank you.
They're not the same. The videos are not the same. They have different styles. They partner with the song so well, and each one kind of tells a story, but it's fun and light, and then there's the dancing, which we have to talk about. So I mean, I know I just threw a lot out, but I want to talk about a lot of it. But let's start with the videos as a whole. Where did the idea start to have a video for each song on the album?
That was
I did that started as a joke because it was during COVID, and we were like, we had already made a few videos, and then
we were like, every single song feels like it could be a single, like we were like, but we have to pick one.
So we were just like our managers joked, and they were just like, what if you just like did a video for every song? And we were like, absolutely not. And then we found ourselves just happening to do videos for every single song. But yeah, I mean, each one, like, I don't know. So like sometimes it was our ideas, sometimes it was the producers' ideas, or the videographers and stuff,
or the animator,
or the animator. The animation ones were completely entirely them. Like we were just like, here's some money. And then they just like put the videos in our lap, and we were like, these are awesome. So it's really fun working with a lot of different people to get like their ideas flowing and stuff as well.
And a lot of the videos, like No Instructions and The Garden and Sailing, those are all done by the same guy. So that was very like kind of our idea, but very improvised on the spot as well. So obviously like Sailing and The Garden were like just a classic VHS vibe. We don't, we're just going to go and see if we can get some cool shots. And then, we had a little more idea of No Instructions. Go Dumb was us. That was mainly Calvin doing all that directing. Same with Changes, our most recent music video. And then for, the animated ones, those are two different animators, Alexis and Felicia. And then for the last two, Get a Job and What Could Be Better, was this guy Raw, who we know through Ayad, and he's super talented, and he really took the reins on those video ideas. It was kind of like, we want to play pickleball, and then through that he created this whole crazy story. And so it's like he said, it's really cool to work with different creators, because they're just such different approaches. And then the dancing was Joe Lee for She Wants Me. So that was fun. That was like, we want a dancing music video. And then they're like, let's take the reins on that. We're going to do it in our house, our 3-story, like
Yeah, I came to
house.
them with this like treatment that was like, okay, we're gonna have to rent out a studio. There's gonna be a beach scene, and then there's gonna be like a nice like restaurant scene and everything. And then they're like, all right, but we could maybe pare it down a little and just like do it all in our 3-story apartment. And yeah, I love that She Wants Me video. It's so
I
fun.
love it too. That's a really great one. It's like it's all in one shot. It feels like, right? And
Yeah,
I mean it connects so well to together. It's it's like
yeah,
one of those movies like Birdman or something. Where
yeah. I literally
you,
wrote in like the Go Dumb treatment. I had just seen 1917, and I remember
yeah.
something like, yeah, I just love one shot. And yeah, still to this day, I think one shot videos are just the best. Like that Kendrick Lamar video that he just released.
Mind
Genius.
blowing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so so did you guys have any dancing background, or did you have to learn the moves? No.
Yeah, we had actually a choreographer come in like
His name
twice,
was Tommy Sutter.
Sutter.
Tommy
Yeah, Tommy
Sutter.
Sutter.
and he
From
was
New York
great.
So chill.
The only thing
Yeah,
that
it's
wasn't, and it wasn't him at all, but we had to do it in our studio, like where we record, and our managers like refused to put the curtain down from the mixing room. So they're just watching us dance, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to die
Yeah,
because I'm already
it's so
nervous
funny.
enough dancing in front of like even the guys. And so then there's like just a group of people behind us through a glass wall, like just staring at us. And I'm like, this is the worst. But it was really great because it gave us a lot of practice, and Tommy was incredible with his choreography and everything. And then the crew at the shoot was so nice and lovely and just really sweet that it like we felt comfortable. And it was actually a pretty painless shoot compared to
Yeah.
ones that we've done before, where it was like, I think total for the whole thing, we did like 20 takes or something. Like it wasn't crazy. So it was really, really great when we were like, we're done. And then they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, came together, and he just like, they really,
Luke says crew, but it was really just the people living in the apartment.
but they
Like,
work, like they
yeah.
They
built
work
like a lot of the props, and then they were also just there to like
It's
support
like-
in any way.
It's like a
so
house
sick.
full of 6 very artistic people.
Yeah.
Good to have around then, right? So
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
and do you bring any of that into your live show? I haven't had a chance to see you live yet. I'm thinking myself because I know you were just here in the Bay. But
Ross and Cal jump around a lot.
Yeah.
Calvin somehow is able to jump 3 feet in the air with a giant cello on him.
But we can't do the dance though.
Yeah, I am sitting, so it would be a little hard. But
yeah, that would be a little hard.
yeah, I mean, we would probably one day when we have a bigger production, that'd be really cool to get
Just put
stuff
all
like that
backing
involved.
tracks, like
Um,
NSYNC or something.
well,
Yeah.
more of like other people dance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm already scared enough to play music live, so having dancing live too would probably be quite terrifying.
Yeah. And so you guys were just here in the Bay Area a couple of weeks ago. Did you have time to do anything in Sacramento or San Francisco, like outside of sound check and everything?
The problem is that we had like a week off for LA. And so a lot of and it wasn't really a week off for us. We had to shoot another music video. We had a photo shoot. We had our Troubadour show, which was like the longest show we've ever played. It was all of our songs on Spotify. So that was great. But when we got back from that, it was like tough because the Maine came back and it was instantly like Anaheim, then you're hitting like San Diego, then San Francisco, like, or it was like the other way around, but it was like very back into the motion of like every day you're here, you're running all over the place, and then next, like literally that night you got to start driving to the next location per venue.
Yeah, we had a 12-hour drive after Sacramento, so we couldn't really spend time out at night or after the show or anything. But I mean, we've been there. We've been to like San Fran plenty of times before. We've gone to Pier 31. Is that the
39, Pier 39? Yeah.
39, and I love that area. That whole
Oh, yeah.
area. We got to see all the sea lions. Never made it over to Alcatraz, but that whole like boardwalk with all the restaurants and stuff is so much fun. And
Yeah.
there was one time we tried to attempt to go see this the bridge.
The Golden Gate Bridge?
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge. And I put in directions and I was driving around and we somehow ended up underneath the bridge. And we never found how to get to like the viewing area.
It's tough. You can't really park easily around there. It's tough. I mean, I
mean, it said like the Google directions were saying it was taking me to a viewing dock, but it was a viewing dock of like underneath the bridge. We were just like, right under it, and we're like, this isn't.
It was also, I think, like foggy that day too.
It was very foggy.
So we didn't really see. We saw like the beginning of the bridge. We were like, well, maybe we'll be back soon.
80% of the days in San Francisco are foggy, so you got once in a while you get lucky and there's a sunny day and you get lucky. I took the kids to Alcatraz last year actually, which was pretty cool. They enjoyed it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, we've seen it in passing, like driving over the bridge and stuff, or whichever bridge, not the Golden Gate Bridge, but
the Bay Bridge. Yeah.
So we've seen it in passing, but
one day we'll have a day off where we
one day. And so your next show is BottleRock, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks. We're super excited for that.
Yeah, so that's here in Napa. Here, I'll even give you.
That's Napa.
Yes, you'll be here very soon. So
how hot is it right there right now?
Right now it's pretty chilly. It's overcast and and everything. Yeah, but it's. I know. I was expecting it to be warmer, but it's a little chilly right now. But hopefully it warms up for BottleRock. Are there any
natural air conditioning too? That's pretty nice when you're playing.
Yes. Are there any bands at BottleRock that you're looking forward to seeing while you're here?
Metallica, 100,000,000%.
Yes.
I mean, 21 Pilots for sure.
Also, yeah. I mean, this is a huge festival for sure. So there's a lot of big names. Even like just seeing as many of these bands as possible. It's so cool being at a festival. You get such a special experience as an artist. It's really like an amazing thing, and getting to see people that you probably would never see otherwise and see how they perform and how they do it is really cool. So definitely Metallica, but 21 Pilots is going to be great. Is Miley Cyrus on that day?
No, she's not playing this year. She played last year.
Okay, it was last year. So,
Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
That'll be cool too.
Yeah. We're Bahamas. That was one of the bands we first like connected over. That'd be so sick to see. I'm just pulling it up on my phone. It's like be sure. Ron Artis and The Truth. I actually met him at See Here Now last year when we were playing. We both played that festival. Ron Artis is a really great guy, and his like shredding capabilities are out of this world.
Metallica will be cool. Are you guys going to stay for the whole weekend, all 3 days?
We're gonna be there Saturday and Sunday. I don't think. Or wait, no,
Friday, Saturday.
I think we fly home on the Sunday.
Yeah. It's such a great festival, and I'll tell you, like, I grew up in Napa and then got out for a while. Went to school and everything, and there was nothing like this here. Growing up, there wasn't even small places to see small shows. So when you have some of the biggest bands in the world playing, in your backyard, I mean, I'm going to be biking to the festival. Like I'm 3 miles away, and I'm that close. It's really cool for sure. So it's going to be a great festival. But I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to your guys' set, because it's like every year I feel like there's and I'm not just blowing smoke either, because every year I feel like there's like one band that I'm like, you discover and you're like, oh, that band is awesome. I really dig them. That's been you guys so far for me.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, really into the music and your vibe and and how you guys have built yourselves and and taken that big jump from from dropping out of school and investing yourself into your music and doing this unique thing as well, and not quitting. I'm sure it's been a challenging couple of years as you're getting started.
For sure.
This little thing that happened in 2020 and everything, but
for sure.
That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. One other thing you have to check out at BottleRock is the culinary stage. Have you heard about that?
No, but you had me at culinary.
So it's this cool thing where they partner bands with professional chefs. Like I mean they haven't announced the lineup or anything yet, but they'll get, I mean, like Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart will cook with something, together or something. I mean, Snoop made the largest gin and juice in one of Guinness World History for it. They break world records sometimes. It's a lot of fun, as well. So
does the audience get to try the food and stuff?
they bring some a little bit out. I mean, sometimes there's pretty big crowds, so it's not like everybody's getting some or something, but they'll either hand some out or throw some out as well, and they do that throughout the festival. So it's and sometimes people who aren't even playing festival or athletes, local athletes will be there. Steph Curry's, I think on. Yeah, so it's
Thanks for the
it's gonna
tip.
be yeah, exactly. So I think that's all I got for you guys, but I mean I'm really looking forward to seeing you at BottleRock, and
hopefully we can meet in person. That'd be really great.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, thanks. Enjoy your show tonight. And do you have any plans for the week off? A couple weeks off, or are you just taking it easy?
Quality family time.
Yeah, right.
Relax finally. So, one other question. As kind of growing up in Jersey, I haven't really been to Jersey, but the couple things I know about it are Cake Boss and all of Kevin Smith stuff. Are you into any of that?
Kevin Smith is great.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Cake Boss is also pretty cool.
I've actually never had eaten Cake Boss.
It is
cake.
Overpriced though.
It is overpriced.
It's like their store there's always a line, and it's always like twice as much as you'd pay for any type of normal slice of cake. But he's earned it. He's
earned his. Yeah.
Cake maker.
Favorite Kevin Smith movie?
Clerks.
Yes, good answer. Good answer.
I'm gonna say that one too.
I don't think I've ever seen Clerks.
You haven't seen it yet. You should see it. Yeah. Exactly.
Great movie.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's Kevin James.
Oh, I'm thinking of Kevin.
Kevin Smith jokes actually in his like some of his talks sometimes about being mistaken for Kevin James. So you're not the first.
Bigger guys, so I was just like, wait, there's a Kevin, right?
He knows, and he wouldn't be embarrassed to hear that. So he busts his own balls about that. So, yeah. All right, well, guys, I'll let you guys go, but I'll see you guys at BottleRock then, and have a safe couple of weeks. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Real quick. Tusk. Tusk is a fantastic movie. It's the movie I've ever watched, but there you go.
I used to be a big Kevin Smith fan. I'll say, but some go off the rails a little bit. But Chasing Amy, I've interviewed him before, and he actually invited me down to LA for a screening of Clerks 2, like a year before it came out.
No way.
So,
that's so sick.
I knew him back through his message board like years ago when the message boards are things. So
that's so awesome.
Yeah, so
he's like a real nice guy. But we can't wait to see you at BottleRock.
Yes,
and thanks so much for this interview.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, well, I'll see you guys there then. Okay.
Yeah. Have a good.
Right, that was the interview with the Happy Fits here on Concert Pipeline, and that takes us to the final segment on the program, the music news. I have a couple stories to wind out the program, starting with one about the Gorillaz. So Gorillaz, I've never seen them live, and it's one of those bands that's always kind of intrigued me because all of their shit is animated. So I kind of felt like their live show was animated as well. I think they have animation behind the live show, but they actually do have a band they're physically playing. But I was like, how do they even bring that to the live setting? Because everything they do is behind these animated characters, right? Well, they've announced details of a North American tour in September and October. the gigs will be led by Damon Albarnard by his group's first US and Canadian live date since 2018, and it extends their ongoing world tour, which is currently in South America. It's a 14-piece live band who will be aided and abetted by a varying cast of guest performers, and there's 21 arena shows in the US and Canada, kicking off in Vancouver in September. So tickets will go on sale on Friday, May 20th. And tour dates include a date at the Chase Center in San Francisco on September 21st. So that is the local date. Get your tickets if you want to see the Gorillaz live. It'd be cool to see them live, but I don't know that they're a band that I would see live unless they're playing a festival that I'm going to matter, what have you. So let's talk about Oasis, shall we? Liam Gallagher says he hasn't seen his brother Noel in about 10 years. Though the pair formed a production company together last year for the release of the Oasis Kenilworth 1996 documentary. The Britpop icon split up in 2009, and despite countless rumors of the band's imminent reunion, the Gallagher brothers are still not on speaking terms. Wow, they are putting that out there, aren't they? In an interview with Esquire, Liam revealed, "The last time I saw Noel was at a football match about 10 years ago. It's a shame, isn't it? The good times outweigh the bad times," he added. "I think it's best to just leave it at that." Of the prospect of an Oasis reunion, Liam added, "I like to think Oasis will get back together, but not this week. The door is ajar on everything. I wouldn't be surprised if space aliens landed tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if they were here already. I wouldn't be surprised if God walks among us. I wouldn't be surprised by all sorts." Okay, so he's saying the likelihood of Oasis getting back together and is up there with those items I just mentioned. Not likely, huh? Yeah, they had a big old following out. But they, like I said, last year they registered a joint film production company for the release of Oasis Kenilworth 1996, which went on to become the highest grossing documentary of 2021. And Liam said about the production company in an interview, he didn't speak to Noel through the setting up of the production company, just being involved. So in his own words, Noel couldn't do something ridiculous with the project. Of the film's working title, Liam told NME, "I can't remember the name, but he wanted to call the film something fucking ridiculous. I just went, fuck that. It should just be called Oasis Kenilworth 1996. Simple." He was calling it, "Oh, the one with the fucking golden ticket, Operation fucking Gold." Obviously, he owns the key when it comes to the songs and that, but the image of it, I think I play an important part of that. So, yeah. All right. So that is the biggest, latest, greatest news on Oasis. Don't hold your breath for a reunion tour anytime soon, but there's always a price, right? There's always a price to the, and it happens, and it's the biggest thing in the world when it does, and then they go their own separate ways again for the next decade or so, until it's like, hey, these guys haven't talked in a decade, and then the demand gets high enough to the where the price point is lucrative to them, and they do it, right? I think it'll happen eventually, but it's a matter of when. It feels like they're one of the only bands that has truly held out though on reunion deals. All right, so Soft Cell, Soft Cell from Tainted Love, right? Yeah, that was horrible. Soft Cell. They're going to perform their debut album in full for the first North American tour in 20 years. And their debut album was Nonstop Erotic Cabaret. And they returned last week with Happiness Not Included, their first new album in 2 decades. The synth pop duo comprised of Mark Almond and Dave Ball had recently reunited for their first album since 2002's Cruelty Without Beauty. There was a short run of UK dates, and Soft Cell is now headed to North America later this year for that tour. The dates are in August. There's really only 6 of them right now. So if you want to see Soft Cell, and you're in the Bay Area, guess what? You're in luck. August 26th, San Francisco, the Masonic is where you have to be able to see Soft Cell. That's the jam on Soft Cell. That's about all I got there. Okay. Stranger Things is coming back. It's back again. And it's this thing that's like, hey, I should cancel Netflix, right? I don't really watch much on Netflix. There's not a lot of great content. I've seen everything that I want to see. I should cancel it. And then you get to that point of almost canceling it. And then Stranger Things fucking comes back, right? The program that really catapulted Netflix into superstardom and to be able to, maintain their platform for many years, right? Well, they've announced a two-part season 4 soundtrack, which co-aligns with the dropping of the season of Stranger Things, which is split into 2 parts, right? So 4th season has 2 volumes. The first comes out on May 27th, first day of BottleRock, I'll let you know, and the second on July 1st, 2022. I might need to watch an episode of Stranger Things before I head out to BottleRock. Just going to throw that out there. And there's 9 episodes in total. Doesn't say which one has 4 episodes and which one has 5. Gotta be on the edge of your seat. But the soundtrack is also released in 2 parts, each shared on the same release day. CD and cassette editions will follow on September 9th this year, before vinyl editions arrive later in the year. And the first song off the soundtrack is a Journey cover. It's Separate Ways, Worlds Apart by Bryce Miller and Alloy Tracks. It's a remix of Journey's song, and that's available to stream. And the soundtrack promises to feature key music covering various classic eras and styles as featured in Stranger Things 4. Okay, so different eras in Stranger Things 4. Is that a hint? Is that a hint at something? We're moving forward in time with Stranger Things 4. Interesting. Okay, my last story of the podcast is about Pearl Jam. They were recently here in Oakland, and this is actually a local story, something that happened at their Oakland show. Well, Matt Cameron, Pearl Jam's drummer, tested positive for COVID-19. And before you jump to conclusions, you're like, oh, fuck, Pearl Jam had to cancel their show, right? They had to cancel their show at Oakland. All those people had tickets, and they came in and flew from so many different locations, and all the Pearl Jammies were, so disappointed by the cancellation of their show. Well, the show must go on, Pearl Jam says. But it is the first time in 24 years that the Stickman has missed a show, which is saying a lot. So he pulled out of the show, and as a result, touring member and former Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist Josh Klinghoffer stepped in on drumming duties for a series of tracks, including Neil Young's "Rockin' in the Free World," "Elderly Woman Behind the Counter in a Small Town," "Why Go," and "Corduroy." Longtime band collaborator Richard Stuvard also got behind the drums for "Quick Escape" and "Superblood Wolf Moon," before a fan stepped up for the show's finale, "Yellow Ledbetter," and there's footage of that online as well, which is pretty awesome. I mean, they just let a fan come up and do some drumming. Way to go, Pearl Jam. And that comes just days after the band honored Foo Fighters' late drummer Taylor Hawkins during their LA concert at the Forum by performing 2005 song "Cold Day in the Sun," in which Taylor Hawkins was historically vocals on that. And Cameron took on singing duties. Cameron and Hawkins had previously worked together in the band Nighttime Boogie Association, releasing 2 songs together. And so they were close friends with the Foo Fighters and grew up in that same sort of genre, of course. So there's a lot of intermingling between Pearl Jam and Foo Fighters, but Foo Fighters is the greatest band, I will tell you. So, all right. So that is our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. We have more great shows right around the corner with, let me tease a little bit of it. Who do we got? We have Elder Island, I think. Oh no, Data Rock will be next week, pretty sure. I had a chance to interview Frederick from Data Rock. We had a great long chat. So he's going to be on next week. And then the week after that, I think we have the new lead singer of Smash Mouth going to be on the program, which is pretty cool. You heard that right. Smash Mouth going to be on Concert Pipeline. You heard it here. So All right, lots of great content. More from BottleRock. Lots of great content from BottleRock as we get to the end of the month as well, of course. And that's all coming up. So for all of us here at Concert Pipeline, I'm Steve Jones. I'll catch you next time.